The new Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back to the National Constitution Center. Dom Giordano with you with Richard Dreyfuss, the Dreyfuss Initiative, and his Executive Director, Scott Faulkner. If you have a question for Mr. Dreyfuss, proceed right over to the microphone. We'll start to take some questions. And as I said, he has some major announcements tonight that kind of get into the traction that Richard Dreyfuss has gotten, because we all share love of country. We all understand the message. We talk about it a lot, the lack of citizenship training, if you will, in schools. Here's someone, though, who's actually has some progress to report on that, and he would really like to hear your questions or comments about what you've seen and where we are. Sir, if you just identify yourself and give us your question for Mr. Dreyfuss.
Good evening. My name is Keith Peacock, Hainesport, New Jersey. My question is, the curriculum in schools is written generally in New Jersey at the local school level and then passed on to the county level and then approved at the state level. How do you go about getting this, and do you have a curriculum written specifically for the civics courses and getting that implemented into the curriculum courses at the grade school level?
Thank you. I do have a curriculum. I don't know whether it's properly called a curriculum or a curricula, and I don't know whether it should be called a design of teaching. I leave that to others. But in asking people in education, what's the mandate of public education? There's been a 100% lack of ability to answer that question. What is the mandate of public education? And people, chancellors of universities, have been known to flee the room at that point because they don't know how to answer that question. They're not alone, because all of the institutions in our country have rolled over and gotten confused and don't know what their mandates are anymore. But the mandate of education is very simple. It's to make our kids smarter on Friday than they were on Monday. It's to make our kids intelligent.
I'd like to take out a billboard on that over the Schuylkill Expressway.
Pardon me?
I'd like to take a billboard out of what you just said over the Schuylkill Expressway. It seems to be lost.
We have a right, all people in any grouping of whatever kind have an unalienable right to know who they are and why they are who they are, so that the mandate of history in education is to not only teach the narrative tale of this country and how it came to be what it is, what it's meant to be, what are its goals and values, and where its values came from. For instance, in 13,000 years of human history, with monarchy under divine right, with theological dictatorship, with socialism and communism and dictatorships and fascism, what makes America so revolutionary? What makes it so exceptional? And when I ask that of kids, for the most part, their answer is independence from Great Britain. Well, that's not revolutionary. It's been done a lot of times in a lot of countries. What's really revolutionary here? And that is that we actualized and signed onto the notion that the ruler and the ruled could be one thing, and that the monarch was not a bloodline of one family or a caste system that you had to enter only through the battlefield or through some great crime that acquired a great fortune in the past, and that we lived under a curse for 13,000 years, and that curse is actually known by all of you before I say it. You and yours will never rise. You're a serf, and your grandchildren will be serfs, and my heel will always be on your neck. And that was the truth of the world until America said, wait 1 second. If you can manage to get here, if you can make the journey, if you can actually survive the journey, if you have luck and grit and talent and luck and discipline, you can rise. No guarantee, but you can rise in your lifetime by your own merit and brains. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most important political message ever given to anyone in 13,000 years. And everyone in the world heard it. Everyone in the world heard it and knew it for what it was, which was a political miracle. For the first time, someone was saying to those who had nothing that they were invited to go as far as their intellect and creativity dared them to, and that they were allowed all the reward for their effort. And they came, that's why they come here now, that's why they'll always come here. And the only ones that don't know about the miracle of America is our own kids, because we don't teach it to them anymore. And this is not Richard Dreyfuss, this is Alexis de Tocqueville from 1835. If you don't teach every new generation of Americans the ideas of reason and logic and clarity of thought and critical analysis and debate and dissent and civility and context, if you don't teach that to a nation that is bound only by those ideas, we're not bound. We have no common ancestry. We have no common religion. We have nothing in the past that binds us together. We only have the future. And John Adams said, "We value our progeny more than we value our ancestry." No country ever said that. And that's why we were admired and looked up to, and we deserved it. And it took guts to be an American. It took guts to learn about America, because there was no precedent for any such tip of the hat of respect toward mankind's potential than our Constitution.
The new Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.